Tonight we get into some massive pots and a crazy 1-2 game with straddles almost every hand. There's a bounty on pocket 8s, we build another massive stack of over 500 big blinds, and we run a huge bluff with only 5 high. Hit the like button for good luck in the first hand, and let's get started. Okay, initially buying into the game for $500, we play a bomb pot right off the bat. We have 2 significant draws, we brick them both, not getting into bomb pots, not getting into bomb pot strategy, not a big fan, don't really like playing them. I get the point though, lots of fun, lots of gamble. First meaningful hand we're going to play, we're actually into the game for $500 and we've got 350 bucks in front of us. We've got 9-6 of hearts and we're in middle position. I called a $5 straddle. I know, yikes, we're basically limping here, and we end up going 4 ways to a hell of a flop. Under the gun bets $10. I decide to raise it up to $35. He makes the call. So we're going heads up to the turn, which comes down a great one. We bang off our flush immediately. He checks. I'm not going to let this check through. I bet out $40 and he makes the call. River comes down to 6 of clubs. He checks. We're definitely betting out here. I bet $110. He goes well into the tank. What could he be tanking it out with here? Maybe a smaller flush, although that'd be pretty hard to have, and I don't think he'd go into the tank. I would assume he's got some top pair hand. Maybe he could have top 2 pair, something like that could make sense. Anyway, after thinking about it for quite some time, he puts in the call. So we take this one down, off to a great start, winning significant hand right off the bat.
All right. 2 to go, Billy.
In the next hand, we've been informed that there's a bounty on pocket 8s, and sure enough, we look down at pocket 8s under the gun. We're going to open up to like 15 bucks, and we only get 1 caller. He's the next player to act. He's under the gun +1. Pretty loose player, if I'm remembering correctly. Flop comes down, a middling one for us. It's 10 high, so only 1 over, not the worst. I decide to bet $25, and he makes the call. So rather he just folds here, and we take this one down and win the $25 bounty. Off to see a turn, which is 3 of clubs. I'm going to bet out here again. It's an undercard to my pair. I bet $40 and he makes the call. So off to see a river card, which is the ace of clubs. Obviously an ace, pretty bad card for us. I decide to go ahead and check here. He bets $110, and this time it's my turn to go well into the tank, facing a $110 bet. I'm thinking about it for quite a while. I don't really know what makes sense. What aces is he going to have here that he's going to call all the way down? Maybe something like ace 10. That's really the only hand that makes any sense to me. I eventually decide to put in the call, and he shows down ace queen offsuit. So pretty weird. What's he doing in here with ace queen offsuit at this point in the hand, facing my bets? Not really sure, but oh well played by him, I guess. Good job hitting that ace in the river. So off to a win 1, lose 1 type start. After that debacle with pocket 8s, we buy in for 200 more, so into the game for 700 total. Yeah, is this sound familiar? Because to me it feels a lot like my last session. I'm in the big blind for this hand. I've got ace queen offsuit, and I've got around 500 of my $700. Button straddle, I go ahead and raise it up to 20 bucks, and we get 2 callers. So fairly standard. Flop comes down, paired board, king high. Not our favorite, not the worst though. We can still have the best hand here some amount of the time. I bet 20 bucks and the button makes the call. So gotta be a little bit worried here, but we're off to see a turn which comes down the 4 of hearts. I decide I'm gonna bet again, keep telling this story. I bet out $45 with now a pretty decent flush draw. He goes well into the tank. I'm not really sure what he's tanking it out with here. Maybe some middling pairs could make sense, something like 8s through 10s. Anyway, he eventually makes the call, so kind of odd. River comes down, the king of clubs, so we do not hit our flush. Pretty unfortunate. He has $60 left. I decide I'm going to go ahead and wager 60 bucks, and he goes into the tank for about 10 seconds before making the call and showing us king queen. You've got top full house here. I'm not sure what you're really thinking about. Maybe he just has no idea what he's doing, but we lose this one as well. Pretty annoying hand in general, but well played by him, I guess.
No, you have the biggest stack, that's what I'm asking. No one can stack you.
No, stack me.
Oh, yeah, you?
Big blind.
Oh my god,
I'm not coming off this hundy easy, okay?
Looking down at queen 5 offsuit in this one. We're in the big blind, so it makes sense. Starting the hand off at about 430 bucks, I get to check pre-flop and we go somewhere around 5 ways to flopping trips. So we'll take that. I check, relatively loose player bets $20. An old player who I do not regard as loose at all makes the call, and so do I. So we're off to see a turn which comes down to 3. Under the gun bets 20 bucks, and we both call once again. River comes down, the 2 of clubs. I check. The player who's been betting this whole way almost bets and then decides to check. It was very odd. He definitely went for chips. Then the older player goes for chips, thinks about it for a minute, and then checks also. So once they both check, we know we're the only one that has a 5. We know we're good here. Pretty annoying. I flip over my hand and we're good against ace king of diamonds. Yeah, so we've got a limper pre-flop with ace king. So as you can tell, the game is good. Hopefully we can run up a stack. Got to make some money in a game where we've got people limping ace king.
I feel like that's always the misconception. $5 to you, Ben.
It'll be slow moving.
Just hold them and that's it. And
In the next hand, we've got another premium. We're looking down at 5 deuce of clubs. Yeah, just kidding. Obviously not a premium. We're in middle position. We've got around 500 bucks. A kid to my right has been opening a lot in this game. He opens it up to 15, and I call, and one other player calls. Is this a good call? No, this is a terrible call, but I'm looking to get involved against this player. Flop comes down, queen, queen 3, so we've got another paired board here. Time to make some plays. The other player in the hand besides me and this kid checks. Kid bets $22. I decide we're going to go ahead and raise it up here. We're going to represent the queen. I will have plenty of hands here that include queens, queen 9, queen 10, queen jack, all of the suited varieties of that hand. I'm going to definitely have some queens in range. I make it 60 bucks. The other player folds and the kid goes into the tank before making the call. So we're off to see a turn, which comes down the 4 of diamonds. Obviously, we're a little bit disappointed to have to see a turn card here at all. He checks. I bet out $75 here. I think we have to continue to tell the story. If we're going to pull this move on the flop, we have to continue with at least a turn bet. I'm not sure if we're going to have to empty the clip on the river or not. He goes into the tank, thinks about it for a while before eventually making the fold. So our move works out. We get some really weird news that I'm not sure if I believe, but maybe I do, when he tells us he had pocket kings. So, weird spot. I tell him he can pick one of my cards, and he picks the 5. So everybody has quite the laugh. Pretty funny. Really wish I would have gotten table footage of this. I was being lazy that night. Very little table footage, unfortunately. Winning this hand felt pretty great, though. We'll take it down. And we did a little bit of work on the image. Hopefully I look kind of loose now.
You can always flop it. It's only money.
Looking down at a very pretty king queen of clubs from the cutoff, starting this hand off with like 650 bucks. I open to $15 and we get like 5 callers. Yeah, 5 callers. Pretty crazy stuff. Great flop for us though, flopping top pair and a straight draw to the nuts and a flush draw, backdoor flush draw, but we'll take it. I decided to bet $45 here and the old guy makes it 100 bucks. So a very small raise, but a raise nonetheless. I'm going to make the call, and I'm the only caller. Turn comes down the 4 of hearts. Obviously, that's not the best card for us. He shoves all in for $110. So, a pretty small shove, all things considered. I think about it for a little bit, but with our hand, we've got a decent amount of equity. We can redraw to the nuts, and we've got top pair, and we block the nuts, so we decide to make kind of a loose call. We see a beautiful ace on the river, Barry Greenstein on the river, flip our hand over. Obviously we're taking this one down when he shows ace jack. So win a pretty sizable hand here, maybe a questionable call against a tighter player. But when players get short like that, oftentimes they're kind of just looking to double up or bust, basically, which is obviously something you should only be thinking in a tournament, but I have to admit it's something I've struggled with at different points in my career. So we take this one down, very happy to do so.
Right?
Yeah.
All right.
However, you can make the best 5-card hand using at least 2 cards out of your hand on both boards.
If you flop the nuts, it's like the best thing that could ever happen to you.
You flop the nuts, it's the worst fucking thing ever, because you're definitely going to lose.
In the final interesting hand of the night, we look down at 2 red 7s from the cutoff. We're starting this hand off with around $800-ish, so we're in the black already, hoping we can build some more. I open to $20 over some limpers and get called by the big blind and the middle position player. Flop comes down, what you would call a favorable flop. We are flopping bottom set here. Action checks to me. I'm not going to let this check through. It's way too good of a board with all these overcards. I bet $25, and both players make the call. So Not that crazy to see both players make the call in a live game, honestly, but we'll definitely take it here. We've got a set. Turn comes down the 4 of spades, so that's a pretty good card. Feeling good about that. Action checks to me. I'm about $75 this time, and only the middle position player calls. So we're hoping he has an ace here. Maybe he can hit 2 pair. It'd be great if we could just print a whole bunch of value in this one. River comes down the 9 of clubs, so no backdoor flush getting there. Middle position checks. I bet $150 putting him all in, and he makes the call immediately. Okay, so we are concerned, but I roll my hand over and he mucks. So we take down another significant hand. No idea what he had here. I would assume he had some kind of ace. Nothing else really makes that much sense. So feeling pretty good. Unfortunately, the game is starting to wind down. Time to cash out. We're happy to have another winning session, 2 winning sessions in a row. Let's keep it going.
Well guys, that's all for this one. Sorry about the lack of table footage. Somehow I didn't even film a proper outro for this video. Thanks for sticking around to the end. Please hit that like button and stay tuned for a much more exciting video next Monday. I have a pretty massive announcement and we have full table footage for another winning session.